Yamatera Avatari Jayurvakadava Javihati Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasaki Bhakti-Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Jai Madha Madha, Radha Madha, Radha Madha, Jai Radha Madha. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Shri Krishna Balaram ki jai. Shri Radha Shyam Sundar Lalita Vishakha Devi ki jai. Shri Gaur Nitai ki jai. Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande Haribo. Srimad Bhagavad-Gita ki jai. So this is a class in English. Hindi की क्लास नहीं है, इंग्लिश की क्लास है. हिंदी की अभी समाप्त हुई है. So this is a class in English. We will discuss Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, text 6 onwards. I know. Actually, text 6 only. So, अभी कौन सा हिंदी में कौन सा श्लोक था, कौन सा चैप्टर था? 16. अच्छा, 16, 8 था. Okay. तो ये chapter, this is chapter 2. Chapter 2 is entitled Contents of the Gita Summarized. So in chapter 2, in one sense, whole of the contents of the 18th chapter of Bhagavad Gita is summarized in this chapter 2. As we know, there are, how many chapters there are in Bhagavad Gita? 18 chapters, right? There are 18 chapters. And how many shlokas there? Anyone knows? Anyone remember? 700. 700 shlokas, verses, are summarized, are divided into 18 chapters. And there are 3 different categories of these 18 chapters. Does anyone know what categories they are? What and how many chapters in each category? So 18 chapters are divided into 3 different divisions. Anyone know what divisions they are and what categories they are in? Karma Yoga, bhakti-yoga, and jnana-yoga. So these are the 3, the divisions and 3 main topics of Bhagavad Gita. And then first 6 chapters of Bhagavad Gita come under the category of Karma Yoga. The middle 6 chapters come under the category of Bhakti Yoga. And the last 6 chapters, so first to 1 chapter to 6 chapter is Karma Yoga. Chapter 7 to chapter 12 is Bhakti Yoga. And the last 6 chapters, chapter 13 to chapter 18, they come under the heading of Jnana Yoga. Right? So these are the 3 major topics. And within that, Srila Prabhupada, in the introduction of Bhagavad Gita, he talks about 5 major topics of Bhagavad Gita on which Lord Krishna speaks. And these are the 5 major topics of Bhagavad Gita. Does anyone know what they are? What are the, we have categories, we have the major headings, Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Jnana Yoga, and within the 18 chapters, there are 5 major topics of understanding, of learning. In fact, Bhaktivinoda Thakur gives 10 different topics. But Prabhupada, in the introduction, he talks about 5 major topics. Does anyone know what they are? What is, has everyone read the Bhagavad Gita? Everyone has read the Bhagavad Gita? Right. Okay. So there are 5 major topics. Number 1, the soul, Jivatma. That's what chapter 2, Lord Krishna will begin his teachings on this topic, the Jivatma, the soul, the living entity. Right? Then the other major topic out of the 5 is Paramatma, Ishwar, God. Third of the 5th major topics is Karma, activity. For every action, there's equal and opposite reaction. Karma, karma. 4th one is time, kal, time factor, the time factor. 5th one is material nature, prakriti. So these are the 5 major topics of Bhagavad-Gita. And these 5 topics are spoken, Lord Krishna teaches. We learn these 5 major aspects of spirituality. And then there are many other topics covered, but these are the major 5. So the first one, chapter 2, when Lord Krishna starts speaking his divine message in his divine instructions, he starts from text 11 to 11, and his first topic he covers is the soul, but that will come later. But these are some of the basics of Bhagavad Gita. We should all understand and should know, or try to know. And then going back, continuing with the basics of Bhagavad Gita, which scripture, Bhagavad Gita is a scripture itself. It's a granth. But what is Bhagavad Gita part of? Mahabharata. So Mahabharata, in the Bhishma Parva, we read about the great war of Kurukshetra. And the beginning, just before the beginning of the actual battle, we must have seen on TV the Mahabharata serial. Before the battle, this Bhagavad Gita is spoken to Sri Arjun by Lord Krishna. Why? That's what we will very briefly try to understand in this chapter, up to text 6. So that's the setting of it. And we know, again continuing with the basics and basic understanding or background understanding of Bhagavad Gita, is that this war took place, we know, because of the 2 sides, the Pandavas and the Kauravas. Right? So we all know that. So I just wanted to establish a platform on which we can try to understand the context of what we're going to study today. So it's text 6 of chapter 2. These verses, some of these verses in Bhagavad Gita are sung in a different meter. Unfortunately, I can't sing in that meter, so I'll just sing normally. So we have text 6 here. Na chaitad vidmaha kataram na gariyo yadva jayam yadiva no jayayu yane bhatva na jijish shamsa jiji vivamsha te avastitha pramukhe dharatarashtra na chaitad vidmaha kataran no garayo yadva jayam yadiva no jayayu Yaneva hatva na jijivishams te avastitha pramukhe dhartarashtraha na chetad vidmaha kataran no garayo yadva jayam yadiva no jayayu yaneva hatva na jijivishams te avastitha pramukhe dhartarashtraha. Anyone like to repeat? Na chetad vidma kataran no jugarayo yadva jayam yadiva no jayu yaneva hatva na jijivishamas te avastitha pramukhe dhartarashtraha na chetad vidma kataran no gariyo ya yadiva no jayu yaneva hatva na jijivishamas te avastitha pramukhe dhartarashtra na chetad vidmaha kataranno gadiyo yadva jayam yadiva no jayayu yaneva hatva na jijivishamas te avastitha pramukhe dhartarashtra. Anyone else like to say? Otherwise, we go ahead word to word. Translation. Please repeat after me. Na, nor, cha, also, etad, this, vidmaha, do we know, katarat, which, naha, for us, gariha, better, yatva, whether, jayem, we may conquer, yadi, if, va, or, naha, us, jayayu, they conquer, yan, those who, eva, certainly, hatva, by killing, na, never, jiji vishamha, we would want to live. Te, all of them, avastitha, are situated, pramukhe, in the front, dhartarashtra, the sons of Dhritarashtra. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Abhay Charanarvind Bhaktivedanta, Swami Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Nor do we know which is better, conquering them or being conquered by them. If we kill the sons of Dhritarashtra, we should not care to live. Yet they are now standing before us on the battlefield. Please repeat after me. Nor do we know which is better, conquering them or being conquered by them. If we killed the sons of Dhritarashtra, we should not care to live. Yet they are now standing before us on the battlefield. Purport: Arjun did not know whether he should fight or risk unnecessary violence. Although fighting is a duty of the Kshatriyas, or whether he should refrain and live by begging. If he did not conquer the enemy, begging would be his only means of subsistence. Nor was there any certainty of victory. because either side might emerge victorious. Even if victory awaited them and their cause was justified, still, if the sons of Dhritarashtra died in battle, it would be very difficult to live in their absence. Under the circumstances, that would be another kind of defeat for them. All these considerations by Arjun definitely proved that not only was he a great devotee of the Lord, but he was also highly enlightened and had complete control over his mind and senses. His desire to live by begging, although he was born in the royal household, is another sign of detachment. He was truly virtuous, as these qualities combined with his faith in the words of instructions of Sri Krishna, his spiritual master, indicate. It is concluded that Arjun was fit for liberation. Unless the senses are controlled, there is no chance of elevation to the platform of knowledge. And without knowledge and devotion, there is no chance of liberation. So I'll just repeat this. Unless the senses are controlled, there is no chance of elevation to the platform of knowledge. And without knowledge and devotion, there is no chance of liberation. Arjun was competent in all these attributes, over and above his enormous attributes in his material relationships. So we can recite together. Om Ajnanitimirandasya Jnananjana Shlakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yaina Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayham Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guruho Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guruna Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Paricharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desha Tarine He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagat Pate Gopesh Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhascha Kripa Sindhove Evacha Patita Nam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Shri Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. So I'll just repeat the verse again. Nor do we know which is better, conquering them or being conquered by them. If we kill the sons of Dhritarashtra, we should not care to live. Yet they are now standing before us on the battlefield. Okay. So before we discuss text 6, let's look at few verses before. How we are got to text 6 here. Just even going towards the end of chapter 1, we find that Sri Arjun gives 4 reasons not to fight. The battlefield, Kurukshetra, 2 sides opposing each other. On one side, there are the Pandavas. On the other side is the Kauravas. And then Sri Arjun asks Krishna, Sri Krishna, to take his chariot in the middle of the battlefield, because there's a gap between the two sides. He asked Sri Krishna, his charioteer, who Lord Krishna agreed to become a charioteer of Arjuna. So Arjuna asks Lord Krishna to take the chariot, and why? He says he wants to see who's present, who has come to fight. He wanted to see, although he knew who they were. He knew very well who the opposing side was, yet he asked Sri Krishna to take him, and Sri Krishna, Lord Krishna, deliberately takes him and stops the chariot where? In front of Bhishma Dev and Dronacharya, his guru and his grandfather. And when Sri Arjun sees right in front of the 11 Akshahonis of the Kauravas, right in front of the 11 Akshahonis, you have Bhishma Dev, Dronacharya, Kripacharya, Duryodhan, and other great commanders. Karna wasn't there, he joined later. So when Lord Krishna deliberately takes the chariot in front of not Kripacharya, not Duryodhan, not anyone else, but in front of Dronacharya and Bhishma Dev. So when Arjun sees his guru and his grandfather, to whom Arjun was very much attached to, he becomes overwhelmed with emotions. Overwhelmed with emotions, and we read, then he starts sweating, shivering, his Gandhi bow slips from his hand at the end of chapter 1. But before that, he gives 4 reasons of not to fight. Anyone remember what they are? What reasons Arjun gave? And before that, we find also within chapter 1, there are names of great warriors, both on the Pandava side and the Kaurava side. And also there are indications, signs of victory, signs of loss. If one side will win, the other side will lose. So there's a signs of victory for the Pandavas to win the battle. Those 10, 12 signs are mentioned in chapter 1 as well. But besides that, Arjun gives 4 reasons not to fight. He says to Sri Krishna, after giving 4 reasons, at the end of chapter 1, he says, I will not fight. He puts his bow down, his Gandhi bow starts slipping from his hand. He puts it down. He says, I will not fight. But 4 reasons, does anyone know what they are? Anyone remember? One reason is compassion. Arjun being a devotee, Arjun being a very high class, from a noble family, from a Kshatriya family, everyone has compassion. We all have compassion. Some have little, some have more. But those who come from noble families, they have much more compassion. Especially those who are saints and sages, devotees, they're full of compassion. Srila Prabhupada, for example. If Prabhupada did not have compassion, he may not travel to America. Who knows? So Arjun, he did not want to fight. He gave a reason of compassion. He saw the 640,000,000 soldiers. Most of them will die. And we know there's only 13 or 14 individuals survived out of 640 million. 640 million is 64 crores. They died in the battle. Arjun felt these soldiers will die. He felt compassion. What's the necessary of fighting? That was one reason. The second reason he gave was sinful reactions. that if we kill somebody, we will be implicated in sinful activity. To kill somebody is a great sin. Arjun said, I don't want to incur that sin on myself. Great responsibility. And Arjun was the greatest archer of the whole world. In fact, the Pandavas, the Yudhishthira Maharaj, he was relying on Arjun mostly, as well as Bhim, for the battle to be won. And he was the greatest archer. It is said that when he strung his bow, when he was shooting, there was never a time the bow became straight. It was always bent. When somebody saw him shooting the arrows, bows were always bent. So he was so fast in his taking the arrows from his quiver and putting on the bow and shooting. He was such a great archer. So compassion. Sinful reaction. Number one, compassion. Second is sinful reaction. Third one is loss of enjoyment. He said, if I kill everyone, if everyone is dead from the opposing side, Pandavas are dead, who will there be left for us? If the Kauravas are dead, who will be left for the Pandavas to enjoy the kingdom with? If our relatives, our friends die, then those who survive, unfortunately, we all know there's a great disaster in Venezuela right now. Great earthquake, 2 earthquakes struck. And I think the official figures are about 1,500 people have died, but 50,000 are missing. So those who survive, they lose their friends and families. They're alone. There's no one for them to get support and enjoy life with. That's what Arjun was thinking. If I fight, definitely the Kauravas will die. My uncles, my friends, my teachers, my guides, my grandfather, they all will die. My family will die. So who's there for me to enjoy with? And the fourth reason he gave was the destruction of family tradition. If all the soldiers die, anyone who dies, because they're the head of the family, they're all men, the head of the family, then, the head of the family, there are some traditions. Men perform and guide and undertake and lead in certain ceremonies for the family, religious ceremonies. If the head is missing, then what will happen? These family traditions are stopped, and there's a pollution. Women become polluted because there's no one to take care of the women. And once women become polluted because of the men, and then Varuna Sankara, unwanted population, pursues. And then the family traditions break down. So these are the 4 reasons Arjun gave. And the 5th reason is today's verse, text 6. So Arjun gives 5 reasons not to fight. So when Sri Krishna hears these 4 reasons, so we just quickly go through the 5 verses in chapter 2 and then come to the 5th reason of not fighting for Arjun. So text 1, Sanjay said, seeing Arjun full of compassion, his mind depressed, his eyes full of tears, Madhusudan, Krishna, spoke the following words. Actually, when Dhritarashtra, who was hearing from Sanjay what was happening, Dhritarashtra became very happy. When he heard from Sanjay that Arjun has become depressed, he cast aside his bow and arrows and sat on the chariot, his mind overwhelmed with grief. Dhritarashtra in himself became very happy. Now we won. Arjun won't fight. Our victory is certain. Kauravas will certainly fight. Kauravas will certainly win. Because Pandavas will not have any support in the form of Arjun. But then Sanjay was there because he was next to the king Dhritarashtra and narrating everything. Sanjay, because of the benediction from his guru Vyasadeva, he could understand people's mind, and he could understand the soldiers' mind, and he could see, sitting in Hastinapur, what was happening in Kurukshetra, miles away. So as soon as Sanjaya sensed the happiness of Dhritarashtra, he spoke this. He said, no, Madhusudan Krishna is speaking, will speak. And what will Krishna say? In text 2 we know, the Supreme Personality of Godhead said, my dear Arjun, how have these impurities come upon you? Krishna is surprised when Arjun gives his 4 reasons. He's very surprised. He says, Kutastava, how have these impurities come upon you? They're not at all befitting a man who knows the value of life. Aryan. Anarya Jushtam Asavargam. They lead not to higher planets, but to infamy. Akirti Karam Arjuna. So Krishna is surprised. And he's reprimanding. He's surprised, he's asking Arjun, where are these impurities come upon you? It does not befit you. And then text 3, Krishna reprimands him in a very strong word, sklabhyam. He says, O son of Pritha, do not yield to this degrading impotence. So the word klabhyam means impotence. He's calling Arjun impotent. It does not become you. Give up such petty weakness of heart and arise of chastise our enemy. See, one may think, Sri Arjun may argue, that Arjun, or somebody can say, Arjun being very magnanimous, he does not want to fight. He wants to give up before fighting. That's very being magnanimous, being very kind. But Lord Krishna does not approve of such magnanimity. Lord Krishna did not approve and does not approve such artificial show-off qualities. Otherwise, in chapter 3, Lord Krishna will say to Arjun, and through Arjun to all of us, don't be a pretender. Don't pretend. Don't be pakhandi. We should not become pakhandis. Don't be on an artificial level. Don't be on in other words, don't be on a sentimental level. Don't be bhavuk. Bhavukta mein nahi rehna chahiye. So Krishna's chastising Arjun. So after being chastised by Sri Krishna, Lord Arjun speaks in text 4. He says, I'm just reading the English, O killer of enemies, O killer of Madhu, how can I counteract with arrows in battle like Bhishma and Drona? They are worthy of my worship. Katham Bhishma aham sankhe Dronancha Madhusudan. And then text 5, Arjun continues, it would be better to live in this world by begging than to live at the cost of lives of great souls, who are my teachers, even though desiring worldly gain. They are superiors. Hat avartha kamans. They are superiors. If they are killed, everything we enjoy will be tainted with blood. This very important verse, actually, number 5, before Arjun, he's giving reasons. He's giving reasons for the 4 reasons for which he said doesn't want to fight. 4 points he made of not fighting, and here, text 4 and 5 is saying why he doesn't want to fight. Number 1, anyway, we'll come back to that if we have time. Now, verse 6, today's verse. This is the fifth and the final reason. Arjun says he will not fight. After that, in the next text, Arjun will surrender to Lord Krishna. Shishisteham shadibam tvam parpanam. And then Lord Krishna will speak his Bhagavad-Gita from text 11. So text 6, let's just look at text 6, verse 6. See, Arjun has three options in front of him. One, to fight and win. Two, fight and lose. Three, don't fight at all. Fight and win. He already talked about that. He said, if I fight, we will win. It's definite. Arjuna was very sure, and everyone was sure. Dhritarashtra was sure that Pandavas will win. Everyone was sure. Not just because of the abilities of Arjuna as the greatest archer, or Bhima as the greatest warrior, but because they were on the side of Dharma. And Dharma personified, Swayam Bhagwan Shri Krishna was on the Pandava side. So the victory was assured. So Arjun says, if I fight, we will win. If we fight, we will win. We fight, others are destroyed. Then what is the use? We'll be left alone. There's no family friends, no family, no uncles. We will all alone. Fight and win, one option. So he was hesitant. That's why he said he does not want to fight. Second, fight and lose. There was a possibility of losing as well. And Prabhupada says there, nor was there certainty of victory in the purport. Because either side might emerge victorious. Even if victory awaited them, still the sons of Dhritarashtra died in battle. So there's no certainty. So second option, Arjun, fight and lose. And Arjun did not want to do that. Arjun is a great Kshatriya, and Pandavas, they did not want to lose. So that option wasn't good. Because if they lost, then their great reputation would go down also. There are many other reasons. So the third option left for Arjun was begging. And that's what he says in text 4. He says, the last one, text 5. He says, it would be better to live in this world by begging than to live at the cost of great souls. Arjun was prepared to beg rather than to kill the great souls, Mahanubhavan, which is Dhritarashtra and Bhishma specially. And then he says, who my teacher, even though desiring worldly gain. Who is desiring worldly gain? These great souls. They're after position and wealth. Even if they are desiring of this material gains, still they are superiors. And it is the custom, is the culture, Sanatana Dharma, that we don't argue with our superiors. Our superiors, we don't argue and accept what they say. Even if they're killed, everything we enjoy will be tainted with blood. If we kill our superiors, then whatever is left will be sinful. And how can we enjoy that? So these are arguments. Very, very, Arjun is in dilemma. He's in a dilemma. We all get into this dilemma, and that's why, okay, before we get into that, so then he speaks verse 6 today. He says, nor do we know which is better, conquering them or being conquered by them. So that's the reason. This is the fifth reason, indecision. He doesn't know what to do. What to fight or not to fight. That's the fifth reason. He doesn't know what to do. If we kill the sons of Dhritarashtra, we should not care to live. Same, if no one's there, then no one, if everyone dies, we will, no point living. Yet they're now standing before us on the battlefield. But they're not thinking like this. The sons of Dhritarashtra, even Bhishma Dev and Dronacharya, Kripacharya, they're not thinking what Arjuna is thinking. Arjuna is thinking, I don't want to kill them, I don't want to fight with them. But they're not thinking like that. They want to fight. They want to kill Arjuna. They want to kill the Pandavas. They want to kill Yudhishthira, Bhim, Nakul and Sahadev and Arjuna. But Arjuna is thinking, I don't want to kill my superiors. I don't want to kill my family members. I don't want to kill my uncles. But none of them, they're not thinking like that. You see? So now Arjuna is in dilemma. He doesn't know what to do, what not to do. Now, is this sign of a weakness? Because modern education, modern psychology, or modern career building education tell us that. In this world, if you show sign of weakness, if you don't know what to do, people say you're weak. You're not intelligent. You can't decide. Don't you have any brains? Don't you have any intelligence to decide for yourself? That's how the modern education and modern worlds view this. We all got into dilemma, do we not? We still do, I'm sure. There are times in our lives where we don't know what to do, what not to do. Correct. Everyone, I'm sure, goes through this phase, has gone through it. But then, what should be done? Some individuals will not admit. They will think this is a sign of weakness. And they will keep quiet, and then they will make a decision. Right or wrong, they will make a decision. And most of the times, or a lot of the times, these decisions are made with the help of the mind. Help of the mind. And then that's why these decisions are a lot of the times not correct ones, and they become counterproductive and harmful to the individuals. The other option is, if one is in dilemma, to seek help. But to seek help means I'm portraying myself as a weak person. I'm showing to the world I'm unintelligent, I'm weak, I can't decide for myself, even though I'm this, I'm that. But somebody seeks help. There's two possibilities. That individual who's seeking help will get the right advice, or he may get the wrong advice. That can also happen. So seeking help is also a big process. Who to get help from, who to not get help from. It's a very big process. That's why it is recommended in such situations, it's better to get advice from more than one person. At least 3 rather than 1. That's why Guru, Sadhu and Shastra, the 3 aspects are there. And the advice and help is always there from the scriptures, Bhagavad-Gita. And then this dilemma, when we surrender, or we can surrender, the other option is we can surrender to the Supreme Lord. We can surrender to Krishna, get his help. We pray to Krishna. We pray to the deities. I'm in dilemma, please help me. I need help. And then Krishna, when he sees the sincerity of our prayers, he helps us through a guru or a guide, Diksha Guru or Siksha Guru. And Arjun was so fortunate that he had his friend who became his guru and who guided him. But this seeking help, when one is in dilemma or in difficult position, admitting I don't know what to do, what not to do, is actually a sign of intelligence. It's not weakness. It's being realistic with oneself. It's really being, yes, realist, knowing who we are. We're not perfect. We all make mistake. We always need help. And this way, in this mentality, in this process, we learn how to surrender. Because when we seek help of somebody, the process of surrendering begins. And then, if we are very fortunate, if we get the right advice, like Arjun did, he got the right advice. Like we get right advice in ISKCON through Srila Prabhupada and previous acharyas, the Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, Gaudiya Madhava Vaishnava Sampradaya. So, with that, many things are happening. There's a sign of intelligence, the process of surrendering begins, and we put in the right path. We are taken out of our dilemma, the difficult position, situation we may find ourselves. We are actually relieved of that. So that's what's happening. It's not a sign of weakness. Arjun being a greatest warrior is seeking help, asking help. Who are we if we are so egoistic and if we are so have so big ego that we can't help others for help? We can't ask help from others. That's ego, nothing else. Greatest warrior in the world is asking help. He's being realistic. He's showing, the modern educators will say Arjun is showing his weakness. It's not weakness. That's realism. That's his intelligence. And that's one of the lessons we learn from this text 6. And then, actually, there's many more points. It's 7 o'clock already. I'll just make one point before we finish. Then I'll ask for some questions and answers, if there are any. Prabhupada says, all these considerations by Arjun definitely proved that not only he was a great devotee of Lord, but he was also highly enlightened and had complete control over his mind and senses. And lastly, just I read without commenting on it. Prabhupada says, unless senses are controlled, there's no chance of elevation to the platform of knowledge. All of us must come to the platform of knowledge. We must come. And without knowledge and devotion, there's no chance of liberation. So we have to, through our sadhana bhakti, as prescribed by Srila Prabhupada and the previous acharyas, through this sadhana bhakti, we are controlling our senses. Through reading Bhagavad-Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, and other scriptures, coming to the classes, Bhagavatam classes, hearing from devotees, we are coming on the platform of knowledge. You see. And then devotion, that Shraddha, that devotion, bhakti, which is inherent within us, with that, we have opportunity of liberation. So it's very important to understand the basics of Bhagavad-Gita and understand what's going on. And Arjun was competent in all these attributes, over and above his enormous attributes in his material relationships. So Arjun was competent both in material aspect as well as spiritual aspect. He had a perfect balance. And that's what we, especially those grihasthas who live in this world, we must also strive for a perfect balance. Have a perfect balance of the two, vidya and avidya. It's very important. Materialism and spiritualism. It's good that at one point we leave materialism, purely concentrate on spiritualism. And that we have to do. But until we come to that platform, there has to be balance between the two. There are a few other points I wanted to make, but the time is over. Anyone want to comment or ask or discuss today's verse? If not, then we'll stop here. And the next few verses, you will see. Next verse, Arjun surrenders to Krishna. And then Lord Krishna, the previous acharyas have pointed out, Krishna first refuses. He refuses. He said, why are you surrendering to me? Arjuna, I'm your friend. You go to Vyasadeva. You go to other great sages. I'm a Kshatriya, I'm a king, I'm your friend. Arjun says, no, you're the only one who can help me. And then Krishna accepts Arjun, and then Lord Krishna begins his teachings in the form of Bhagavad-Gita, which we will learn as this chapter goes on. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. It's Nitai Gaur Premanandi.